that's the lesson that you take from this. Don't ever, ever, ever give up on someone.
When it comes down to it, it's a very difficult sport.
I enjoy the people that are here.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Welcome to Community Closeup. I'm Joe Nelson. Today we find out how kids in masks are learning to be on guard in Andover. We shine light on a Coon Rapids volunteer helping to fight a battle she's known for decades. And a deadly crash is a grim reminder of the importance of motorcycle training for beginning riders. But first, nearly 13 years after Corey Chase and 3 others died in a train crash, his memory lives on through family and friends at the Blaine High School gym. We took to the court to find out why so many are coming back to play and who benefits from the money raised. For the past 13 years, Sam Chase has come to Blaine on the first weekend of every April to shoot hoops and share memories.
We've had the opportunity to win it one time, you know. We like to bring a competitive team and just, it's fun.
Mitchell Winicky organizes the double elimination 3-on-3 basketball tournament each year with players ranging from age 16 to 45.
At first it was a lot of guys in my grade. I graduated in 2001, and then slowly we're seeing a lot of younger guys here, so it's great. And we usually have between 20 and 30 teams and some really good competition.
The community gained a day to get together from a night that tore them apart.
It's like having hell in your heart, and that's about as descriptive as you can get. It's unimaginable.
On September 26, 2003, Corey Chase, along with friends Brian Frazier, Bridget Shannon, and Harry Rhodes, were hit by an oncoming train when Frazier's car was crossing the tracks on Ferry Street in Anoka. All 4 lost their lives that night, each one of them under 21.
It's that vivid, that fresh, always day in, day out. It's that vivid that it was just yesterday. But feels like it's been forever since I've held her or hugged her.
I think I'm still in kind of the denial stage where it's, no, Corey's gonna come walking through the door, he's gonna come walking downstairs, or he's gonna give me a phone call and just, you know, ha, look, I got you kind of thing. But I wish.
Families endured an 8.5-year legal battle with lawyers finding the crossing gate wasn't working properly and the railroad had destroyed evidence to lie about what had happened and how. A court found BNSF 90% responsible, awarding the 4 families more than $21 million. Messages left from friends have faded, but Corey is not forgotten.
We started the tournament to keep our friend's name alive.
Jamie Padula came up with a way to honor Corey and give back to the community by playing a game he loved.
What can we do? What can we do? Corey loved basketball, so we were like really excited about that idea. Partnered with Blaine High School.
In 2004, the Corey Chase Memorial Scholarship Fund and basketball tournament tipped off, bringing talent, teams, and tears.
It means the world to me. You know, I love basketball, my brother loved basketball, so it's really fun to see. I just like seeing people who love coming to this event and they look forward to it just like I do every year.
For some, it's a way to remember their brother, friend, or son.
Corey was extremely popular with a lot of different groups of people. He was kind of that light in the room.
Corey was contagious energy, always could make you smile, and if he was still here today, he'd be playing out there right now.
He had a great laugh. He was just a fun guy to hang out with, really. A lot of friends, he was a nice guy. You know, everyone thought he was a charismatic person who, you know, cared for other people.
People like to be able to say that, you know, Corey Chase was one of their friends. It meant a lot to them because they knew he was a true friend.
He cared a lot for people. He would do special things just randomly for people, and he is missed.
Corey's mom, Beth Chase, says she enjoys seeing old faces and putting smiles on new ones through the scholarship fund in her son's name.
It's a win for the players to come out and have fun, and then of course the students who get the scholarships.
Scholarships go to Blaine High School seniors heading into engineering or architecture, a field Corey hoped to have a career in someday.
It's so important in this day and age to help kids through college because not a lot of kids have the money to do it, and to do so in something that Corey was interested in, the architecture realm, means a lot to us.
He would love seeing this. I know he'd be honored. because, you know, it's his favorite sport, and he loves seeing all these people. You know, we played with a lot of these older guys, but he would love seeing all this, and everyone having a good time, you know, for a good cause.
It has brought me to tears. It did this morning. I kind of expect that each year. It just wows me. As Corey's friends have gotten older, not so many of them play, a lot of them show up, so it's great fun to talk to them and then see their families come and show up.
It's awesome that it's still going strong.
Corey's loved ones say they hope to hear squeaking shoes and swishing nets for years to come.
This is what surprises me, is it's 13 years, and we hope to keep it going as long as we possibly can.
Honestly, it's just about coming together. It's good people coming together and having some fun. You know, it's just basketball in the end, but it means the world to celebrate a person and remember him for a little while because he was such a good person and loved the game.
Scholarship money for 1 to 2 Blaine High School students interested in the architecture or engineering fields is awarded this month, and a memorial golf tournament is set for September 24th at Majestic Oaks in Ham Lake. Still to come, we meet a Coon Rapids woman awarded for her efforts in helping others fight a debilitating disease. Stay with us. A Coon Rapids woman is receiving honors for her outstanding volunteer work with the Multiple Sclerosis Society, but that's not all she does. Community Closeup's Jordan Ryland shares the story of Mary Gangle, a woman who doesn't let a disability stop her from helping others.
Good morning, Brent. How are you today?
In 1983, Mary Gangle was diagnosed with relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis.
There was a period of time when I was what you call bad shape.
After Mary was laid off from her job in 2011, she knew she wanted to do something, so she began volunteering at the MS Society office in Minneapolis.
This became available to me, so I thought, oh, I'll try this here. And I like sitting out and talking to people and greeting them as they come and go.
Mary puts in more than 400 hours of volunteer work at the MS Society each year. She volunteers at the office front desk.
Garda was here and I gave them the money. Oh, wonderful. Okay.
And at events like Bike MS and the MS Walk. Recently, Mary received the Office Volunteer of the Year Sylvia Award, named in honor of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society founder, Sylvia Lowry. It was a moment that validated her hard work and her pursuit to help those affected by multiple sclerosis.
My family was with me, and it has a special place in my home on the desk with other special things that I've gotten through the years.
Mary dedicates herself to her cause and her faith, volunteering at dozens of Zion Lutheran Church's blood drives for the past several years.
She's a sweetheart, really.
Pastor Sue Walliger has known Mary as a loyal volunteer and member of her congregation for years.
Mary is definitely part of that great leadership in our church. It will always get done if Mary is in charge of it.
Mary's MS affects her legs, and she has a difficult time walking. But she believes she's one of the lucky ones, thanks to medications made possible through MS research and funding.
Had it not been for what they call the ABC drugs that were developed, I probably would not be walking at all, and I don't know that I would even be alive today.
And so, Mary chooses to help others, not for any recognition or attention, but because it's what makes her feel fulfilled.
She is a great person.
For Community Closeup, I'm Jordan Rylance.
Mary says she has no plans of officially retiring from volunteering anytime soon. She will continue to help and serve people for as long as she can. Up next, we hear from another Coon Rapids woman hoping motorcycle riders will learn from her husband's mistake. Stay with us.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework,
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
A 42-year-old Coon Rapids man died last month in a motorcycle crash just outside his home. We heard from Jeff McClintock's wife, who is still waiting for answers but hopes others can learn from what happened. Spring is here, bringing thousands of motorcycles out of hibernation. At their Coon Rapids home, Jeff McClintock's wife Cheryl says he was hoping to have a new summer hobby. She says Jeff was riding his new motorcycle for practice last month in the parking lot.
One of the tenants told me that witnessed it, that he heard this loud popping noise.
They heard the loud roar of the mufflers from the motorcycle.
The engine revved up real high and just took off, and Jeff had no control of the bike, and that he had just hit it and flew off of it.
His injuries looked quite serious.
Jeff crashed into a parked van and was knocked unconscious and suffered severe head trauma and broken bones before being rushed to the hospital. Cheryl followed close behind.
And when I got there, they were going to do surgery on him, but then the doctor came out and said, "I'm sorry, we can't do any surgery because there's too much bleeding in the brain," and that his leg was bleeding too bad too. So they didn't want to do anything with him, that they were just going to have to let him go. You're kind of in shock, and you don't know how. You don't know how to really react.
Cheryl says she believes a throttle cable problem may have contributed to the crash that took her husband's life. She hopes a state patrol investigation will determine why the crash happened.
We don't know if there was any malfunction in the bike at all, or if it was simply an issue with driver inexperience or speed at this point. So when those results come back, we'll be able to better answer those questions.
We contacted Harley-Davidson in Blaine, where Jeff bought the bike and brought it in when problems came up, but no one there would comment on the crash.
And they told him that they checked the whole bike over after they did the turn signals, and it was in good shape. So I don't know what happened between that and the time this happened.
With no life insurance, Cheryl set up a GoFundMe donation page to help pay for funeral expenses. She says the support of the Coon Rapids and Winchester apartment community has helped her through these difficult times.
He was outgoing, friendly. He always made sure somebody had something to eat.
But it's what her husband of 8 months didn't have that won't escape her mind.
He wasn't wearing a helmet, and I don't know why he took off around here without a helmet.
Anyone riding a motorcycle on a permit like Jeff had is required to wear a helmet when driving on a street, but in a parking lot, those laws don't apply. Regardless of what the statutes say, police recommend all riders to take precautions.
They need to take it easy when they first get that bike out, because we all forget sometimes exactly, safety, which should be first, and obviously wearing a helmet. The gentleman in this case sadly was not wearing a helmet, which may have saved his life.
David Soderholm teaches motorcycle safety classes open to anyone with a rider permit or license endorsement at Anoka Technical College. He says nearly all fatal motorcycle crashes can be avoided.
It falls into one of three categories. People got hurt because they didn't have training, they were under the influence of some kind of drug or alcohol, or they weren't wearing their safety gear. So if they fell down, the consequences were far higher than they needed to be in that situation. And the skills that you need to use while you're doing the motorcycling out on the street may or may not be something that you know how to do yet. So taking a course like this allows you to get those skills and get that training in a safe environment, controlled environment, with really high quality instruction and a lot of one-on-one interaction.
He says the most important life-saving tool when riding is a helmet.
It is the single most important piece of gear. And modern helmets are so good. They're very comfortable, they ventilate really well, the vision out of them is very good. And not just helmets though, you need to be covered from head to toe in some kind of riding gear, because at any point along your ride, something may go wrong. If you're skidding down the pavement at 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour without gear on, it's going to be your skin on the road. It's a great way to travel, it's a great hobby, but it's a hobby that has high consequence if you get it wrong. So people need to take it seriously when they go out and do it, because if it goes bad, it can go bad big.
Cheryl says she hopes other riders, especially new ones, will make safety a priority.
I would hope they would see the importance of wearing that helmet and all the leather jacket or whatever to protect you, because this can happen to anyone.
Anoka Technical College offers the 3-day basic rider courses through July. For more information, go to the website at the bottom of the screen. Coming up, find out where kids can fight with weapons in a safe and positive way. Stay with us.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet? There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Thanks for watching Community Close-Up. We leave you at Andover Elementary, where kids are competing and learning skills with swords and masks. I'm Joe Nelson. We'll see you next month.
It seemed like really fun. I saw like a YouTube video of people fencing and I wanted to try it.
My brother did it when he was in 6th grade.
Kids in Andover are taking different paths to find a sport many only see on screen.
When I tried out some other sports and other things, they just didn't always work out for me. So I just thought I could try fencing, and it worked out.
Sword fighting has been around for thousands of years, but organized competitive fencing didn't happen until the late 1800s, becoming an Olympic sport in 1896.
It's really like a bunch of super interactive stuff where you are like crossing blades a bunch, and we do bouts usually at the end of every class. We do like some fencing games, which are really fun.
Oh, it's like a really fun hobby that I could do.
The Youth Enrichment League through Anoka Hennepin Community Education offers 6-week fencing courses at Andover Elementary School and at other locations in the North Metro.
Fencing is a sport that attracts like non-traditional athletes. It attracts solo athletes, people that don't really like team sports, but still want to be competitive and still want to be active. So I'd say that's our fencing target. And two, Minnesota is actually a surprising hotbed for fencing in the States, so it's a great place to be if you want to be a fencer.
Denise Finestad of Ramsey says parents' initial opposition of the sport over safety quickly retreats.
The fact that they provided all the equipment was a real plus. I think if it was something that we had just approached on our own, I wouldn't really have known where to start. I would have had more concerns then about the swords and what kind of weapons they were using, but I think the program is well run and the kids are safe.
I would hope that after they see the equipment that we have and the safety and the restrictions that we put on kids, that they would lose those fears, because we do try to be very, very safe. We have extra protection, we have chest guards, we have puncture resistant materials all over the place. If there's a sword in your hand, you're wearing a helmet, things like that. Ready, fence.
Instructor Sam Todd says he hopes to pass on his fondness for fencing he found in Forest Lake at 14.
I just liked being able to fence in a club format. And I did that basically up until I started teaching these classes, actually.
Moving from competitor to referee to instructor, Sam says he enjoys seeing the students' skills advance in each lesson.
Halt! I do encourage everybody to fence against everybody else, because if you fence against somebody that's a lot older or more experienced than you are, I feel like it's the best way to build your skills, because you're not necessarily going to win, but you're going to have more of a challenge. Today, Alex, I could see that he was using almost all of the moves that I had taught him. He was disengaging, he was using his blade work properly, and he was a first-year student, but he still got second place.
Improving for beginners and even more experienced fencers means facing off against intimidating opponents.
Halt!
It was also kind of hard against some of the taller people who are like in 8th grade, because I'm young. Even though they have a bigger target area, they're much stronger than me and probably much more aggressive.
It's been really fun to see them do a lot of footwork, and to see that ability kind of improve. That's a big thing. You see the increase in confidence, so that's been fun to watch, and just the general skill level of all the kids as they move through the program is a lot different from when they first started.
With sword fighting still engaging moviegoers, students take that interest into their own hand.
I love a lot of movies with sword fighting. I remember like Princess Bride. Oh, Star Wars? Yeah, that's awesome.
When I saw them, the movies like first, I got super interested in like what type of style of sword fight that was, and I found out that it was like fencing. So yeah, I like wanted to try that.
13-year-old Rob Finestad says he learned quickly that competitive fencing is not the same as what we see while eating popcorn.
Don't come into it thinking that you're going to be like Captain Jack Sparrow, like swinging from chandeliers, hitting people, cutting off their heads. Can't really, there's no spinning around, there's none of this. Yeah, you have to be really like accurate and detailed in your movements.
A lot of times if it's the fencer's first class, they come in having this image of pirates swinging around, wild sword slashing. They have the image of Jedis, facing off two hands. We have to kind of break them of that, because fencing is a very precise sport. When students get aggressive or even frustrated in fencing, a lot of times what comes out are these big, wild slashes. Now, there are specific penalties in place to deal with that, and moreover, I try and tell everybody that if you see your opponent going, too aggressively, use that to your advantage. Take advantage of their lack of composure, and then get your blade around theirs and finish your attack.
Proper parries and careful cuts command concentration.
It's like thinking of what move you're gonna do and really focusing on your footwork, because like one misstep, then you fall down.
11-year-old Olivia Lean wins with wits.
Puts our final score to 2-3.
Just because you're big doesn't mean you will always win. I've won several bouts against people probably almost twice my size and twice my age and twice my strength, or more than that actually. But that also means they have bigger target area, so I've learned you have to use trickery to win.
Both instructors and parents say they hope students press on in fencing and understand the finer points of the sport.
Fencing is a very old sport steeped in a lot of tradition, so they learn some of that heritage and culture, as well as the respect, the etiquette that goes along with it, some of the French words, so it's all a plus.
I'd like them to get a clearer idea of what fencing is. And then morals and values-wise, fencing is a sport that has a lot of honor with it. Like, you want to face your opponent, you salute at the beginning and end of every bout, you shake hands with your opponent. You should just feel a slightly better sportsman after fencing.
It feels like I can do much more because I like accomplished some parts in my life, so yeah, I'd like to go on. I think I'm gonna go like pretty far with it because it's something that I really enjoy.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna go to like the Olympics. That's like big, but I'll probably go pretty far.
So I think of it as a jumping ground. So like you start here, get your toes wet in fencing and decide where you want to go.
Spreading conversation on fencing to pump up participation is a target for these students, telling those on the outside who wish to slash a saber.
It's an hour and a half out of your day. I mean, yeah, it's super fun.
There's a lot of publicity around the team sports. It's pretty easy to find those in the community. Fencing is a little out of the usual realm of things. So I know different times I've talked to parents and I'll say, oh, what does your older son do? And I say, well, he plays tennis and he fences. And they say, oh, fencing. My son might like that too, and they're very interested.
I'm still trying to get better at it, but maybe it's just something you should try. And if you like it, then maybe you can progress more.